We are underway in our first relay event of the evening, the girls 4x800 meter relay. 7 of the Midwest finest, 6 from Indiana and 1 all the way from Kentucky competing in tonight's race. Those of you unfamiliar with track and field, the 4x800 meter relay consists of 4 athletes, each running 2 laps, equivalent of about a half a mile for a 2-mile total. Early out, your top 5 separating themselves just a little bit. They're strung out all the way to lane 3. Still anybody's race, obviously. 33 seconds through the first 200 meters. Once again, boys 4x800 meter relay team should be checking in momentarily and getting ready to go. This race will take less than 10 minutes, so you are up next on the track. Get warm, get checked in, get ready to go. It is Franklin Central leading the pack on their host track, coming through 400 meters at about 66 seconds to lead the field. Your top 6 all nip and tuck, everyone all right together. Your top 3 with a slight advantage, by no means a big advantage, but it's still Franklin Central. Carmel now getting themselves into the mix. And the Lady Chargers from Carroll. Carmel with a big move down the backstretch. They've got 2:50 to go. Greyhounds, Chargers, Flashes through 600 meters at 1:43. This will be under 2:20 for sure. A very impressive time for early April. Carmel, Carroll running 1-2. Pulling away slightly from the host Flashes. It's the Greyhounds and the Chargers. Franklin Central, Noblesville rounding out your top 4. Carroll not giving an inch. Coming up on our first exchange here, it's Carmel, Carroll opening up quite an advantage here in this last 400. These ladies really tying up, and it's going to be the Lady Chargers at the first exchange, coming through at 2:20. Carmel in second, Noblesville moving up to third, and the Lady Flashes in fourth. Huge first leg, particularly the last 200 meters for the athletes from Carroll, has put her team in position, and Carmel and Carroll, the cream of the crop right now. You have to go back about 25 meters to your 3rd and 4th place teams from Franklin Central and Noblesville. Westfield has now moved into 5th place. Assumption and Brown County battling for 6th. A very tight race. Coming on the home stretch here, it's still your first exchange leaders. Carroll with a couple stride advantage over Carmel. These two teams synonymous with distance success in this state, not only in track and field, but in cross country. Coming through with a first lap at about 71, a little more conservative than the leadoff leg, but nonetheless still very impressive. Set up to run something in the 2:20 range for our first 2 teams. Franklin Central and Noblesville battling for 3rd, seeing if they perhaps can take advantage and narrow the gap in the last 300 meters. It's still Carroll, Carmel. Noblesville has now taken advantage of 3rd place. Franklin Central in 4th, and Assumption from Kentucky makes a move and moves into the top 5. It is still Carroll, Carmel, Noblesville, Franklin Central, your top 4. 2:20 with the opening leg for Carroll. This one will be a tad slower, but not much by any means. And Carmel and Carroll really giving quite a battle here up front. Neither athlete wanting to give anything. And now it looks like a little bit more in the tank for the Lady Greyhounds coming on the home stretch. We're going to be halfway through our event here, and we're set up to possibly break 9:30. Very impressive considering the date on the calendar. 4:45, 4:47, a 2-second advantage for the Hounds. 2:21, 2:24 on the opening 2 legs for Carmel. Carroll with 2:20, 2:27, and then you've got a ways back to Noblesville and Franklin Central. third leg here. We're over halfway. It is Carmel, Carroll, Noblesville, Franklin Central, and Assumption taking a stronghold on that 5th place spot. 200 meters in, and Carroll has narrowed the gap just a little bit. This one could come down to the anchor leg unless something special happens here. 2 amazing battles on the track right now. You've got Carmel and Carroll for the lead. Though you have to go a ways back, let's not ignore the battle taking place for 3rd between Noblesville and Franklin Central. Neither athlete giving an inch. These ladies are still going to run an impressive time, and we've got 2 great battles on the track right now. One for first, one for 3rd. Still trying to battle here. It's still Carmel. It is Carroll. Noblesville and Franklin Central for 3rd. Coming on the home stretch here of leg 3. We're going to see who's got more in the tank in this last 250. If early results are any indication, it's Carroll. The Greyhounds might have to come from behind here as the Carroll athlete looking very impressive. 200 to go. Franklin Central has now taken back 3rd place. Noblesville 4th. And Assumption really never in the gap here. Probably too deep to compete for a top 2 spot. But Assumption making a huge move here on this 3rd leg. A huge move in the last 300 meters, similar to what we saw in the 2nd heat of that boys freshman mile. Carroll has taken charge, no pun intended for the Lady Chargers, coming up on 1200. Here we go, it is Carroll at 7:07. 7:07 through 2400 meters. Final exchange, and the Lady Chargers have blown this one wide open behind a huge 3rd leg. It's Carroll now opening it up with about a 50-meter lead. Amazing what one lap can do. Just 400 meters ago, we saw it nip and tuck, but Carroll has taken command of this one. It is Carroll. It is Carmel. Still that battle for 3rd place between Noblesville, Franklin Central, and Assumption rounding out the top 5. Once again, boys 4x800 meter relay teams should be checked in and ready to go. Boys 4x800 meter relay teams. .400 meters to go for the Chargers. This has got sub 9:30 written all over it if they can close. Under 9:30, very impressive this early on in the season. It's Carroll, Carmel, Noblesville, Franklin Central. Really spread out on the track now. Huge move by Carroll. Can she sustain it with 300 meters to go? Let's bring them home, folks.
Himself in the 7 couldn't go.
200 meters to go for the Lady Chargers. Let's bring them home. 8:48. This is going to be special, ladies and gentlemen. Comfortably under the 9:30 mark. Carmel 2nd. Noblesville 3rd. Franklin Central 4th. Assumption 5th. Westfield 6th. And Brown County rounding out the field. Let's bring them home on the south stretch, ladies and gentlemen. A great time this early in the season, really flexing their muscles. 9:25, a great time early on this season for Carroll. Carmel, who led much of the race and pushed the Lady Chargers, comes home 2nd. 3rd will be Noblesville, coming on the home stretch, comfortably under the 10-minute barrier, which is impressive. And then you have Franklin Central 4th, Assumption 5th, and unless things change, it's going to be Westfield 6th and Brown County rounding out the field.